Hey everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on volume 4 of Attack on Titan, the manga. Haha! Yes! So, I feel really invigorated and excited to be reading the manga again. Volumes 2 and 3. I mean, I didn't go back and rewatch the anime for a reason, because around the fall I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, do I want to do a rewatch of the anime to prepare for season 4 part 3? And I was like, no, I think I'm going to wait because I'm going to be rereading the manga, and I kind of want the reactions to the manga to be fresh, because if I go back and rewatch the anime now, then when I get to manga, it'll be like, okay, this is the third time I've seen the series. And granted, I'm sure you all can argue that each time you go back, you're going to notice different things. Like, even as I was editing last week's video for volume 3, I was like, man, yeah, there are little bits and pieces that kind of connect, and it's so fascinating, right? So, just things with the art style, everything, like Isayama. Even if Isayama says they hadn't planned things out entirely from start to finish, you can definitely see that there were things in the works as they were going, and just little tiny Easter eggs planted throughout the manga that once you see the series as a whole, you're like, oh my god. And I'm sure that once I see part 3, I'll have to go back and relook and be like, oh my god, all over again, right? I feel like that's coming, but I really have been enjoying reading the manga and starting up again and like getting myself like worked back into Attack on Titan mode. Like, I'm just like, I took a big long break from Attack on Titan to like cleanse my palate and like cleanse my brain from all the angst. And now it's time to re-get into that. So, but that's all right. So I really am excited about reading the manga, and these last couple weeks have been so much fun. And so we're getting into like no offense to season 1. Season 1 is incredibly important. It is gonna come back full circle when we get to the end of season 4. It's an incredibly important part of the journey. You gotta start somewhere and it's all gonna come full circle. But honestly, season 1, if I had to rank the seasons, even though season 1 is maybe the more important season in the long run compared to others like season 2, it's my least. I would probably rewatch season 1 the least, because it's just like, I like a story where you build it over a long period of time and you get really invested in those characters, and it leads to some very cool payoffs with those characters. And in season 1, you're just starting to set those payoffs up, so you don't really get the punchline until later on. And I like to get to the punchline. So it has been fun, though, going back and seeing just how much setup there is. Like, it's very impressive, right? So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking at the cover right now for volume 4 and trying to piece together, like, you have Marco and Jean and Annie lumped together, and then you have Reiner and Sasha and Connie lumped together. I do like the fact that you have Reiner standing over Aaron, where they're supposed to be like the one and the same, so that's fun. And then Mikasa, she's just, strapping on her giant energy there and just like, boom, here I am. Like, because Mikasa's been pretty important in the last couple volumes. She's really stepped up her game. I like it. I was talking to Christopher Peterson on the Patreon comments for volume 2 and saying that Mikasa, I guess you could argue that she's not quite different from the manga to the anime adaptation at this point. I do agree that there is some subtle, like, little things Isayama does with her expressions in the manga that I think translate a little better than the anime. But if you disagree, that's totally cool. I'm fine with that. So I'm excited to start volume 4, y'all. But before we do that, I want to give a very quick shout out to our fellow philanthropy tier patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to go ahead and see volume 5's reaction, if you're on YouTube, if you join Patreon, you can go ahead and see that. You get things a week early, as well as access to the Discord and access to the polls voting what I read and watch next on this channel. And then if you're a philanthropy tier member, you're just amazing and are donating extra money to the cause, like helping me buy the manga that I use to react to this video, as well as the streaming services that I use, as well as the hosting websites that I use for my videos as well. All of that helps me to keep doing what I really enjoy doing, which is share my thoughts on these series with you all. So I'm very thankful. So a special shout out to Edgar, to Dana, to Be Happy, to Anime Annie, to Truck, to Tyrone, to Nameless Monster, Shimoyama, Arjo, as well as Translucent Men, and Kenny. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate it. All of my love. But with that being said, we are going to dive into volume 4 of Attack on Titan and see what they give us, right? And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, And there's that cover. Yes, sir. I really like it. I like it's the sunset. It feels like the sunset before in the last volume, Armin was like, everything's going to change after this. And it's like, yes. And so that feels very much like the sunset on our youth, the sunset on the happier times, if you can consider Franz being like chopped in half, happier times. That's kind of the case, right? But I really like it. I also want to make note that we left off with Eren getting tasked with plugging the hole, but he's gone berserk in his Titan form, and Armin has been like banging on the window, banging on Eren's subconscious to try to like pull him back to reality. So, episode 14, Primitive Desire. Yeah, the desire to be free. We're going to talk about that, right? And then one by one, Necessity, Delusions of Strength, and What Should I Do Now? I don't recall the episodes being named this. So that's interesting. I don't recall any of the episodes being called any of those things. So that's curious. I remember like Primitive Desires, or Primal Desire, but I don't remember the others. So that's interesting. And of course it's Eren, of course, as the title cover. Ooh, we have a new character page. All right. So we have the idea of the Titans. We have Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, and Grisha. I just love that Grisha is still on the character splash page. Like, knowing what we know about him, it's like, yeah, uh-huh. And then Primitive Desire, Mikasa running across the top. Yep. And then there's everybody fighting the Titans. Oof. Okay. Again, it's so cool to see Isayama's like style, how it is now, and it looks a little bit more primitive perhaps, and then knowing what we'll probably see later on and how his art style has developed over the last 10 years. That's gonna be really cool to see week from week progress, right? Okay. And so yeah, we're fighting the Titans, getting all that set up. Oh my god. Like all of them with the giant mouths and everything chasing after them. And then I'm joining up with Matabi's squad. Yep. And meanwhile, Armin is telling Eren to wake up. Again, I'm talking about season 4, part 2, when we left off. I've not seen part 3 yet, but when we left off, Armin, and then we're going after to try to find Eren and talk to him, and he's deep within the founding Titan. So I love the possibility that this is setting up like a parallel, that maybe Armin is going to try to reach Eren through the founding Titan. And if it like mirrors this, that's going to be freaking cool, right? And then Eren not being able to hear Armin. Like, I want a parallel of it later on. I want them adults paralleling this moment. And him saying, why do I have to go outside? Like, which is such a thing, because Eren trapped inside the founding Titan now, it's like, what if he doesn't want to leave? What if he just wants to stay there? Why go back to reality, right? Why do that? And then he says, we're going to explore the world outside, aren't we? And in the plains of sand. You really stopped me talking about this stuff because you didn't want me to join the Survey Corps, right? And then he's like, the outside world. And it's almost like everything, like, he's like, Eren, answer me. You always knew hell was waiting for you one step outside the wall. So why did you want to go to the outside world? It's like, why would you want to go there if you know that hell's there? What's the point? And he's like, why? Well, isn't that obvious? Oh my god, I love that it slowly like pans in on him. It slowly pans in, and his mom and Mikasa turn around, but Grisha does not. Because I was born into this world. Oh, and his eyes like getting all crazy. Yes! Eren being like, I was born in this world. I have this right. It's my freedom. Oh, I love it. And that brings Eren back to reality. Mm-hmm. And then, man, Riko's drawn really good there in the corner there. That's a really good line shot of her. And then the Titans coming through the gates. And then Eren has the boulder. Yes. The classic shot. Yeah. Oh, look at Mikasa with like the tears in her eyes. Oh, that's such a good shot of them. Yes. And then he's like, Eren won. And now he's trying to carry out his duty. Mm-hmm. Okay, if we can cover Eren until he reaches the gates, it's victory. All right, yeah. That's such an interesting phrase. He's like, Eren won, right? He's carrying out the duty of it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even if it means all of our lives, protect Eren until he gets to the gate. What a weird parallel, right? Where you have the Survey Corps protecting Eren to get to the gate to seal out the Titans. But then later on, when Eren is, it's like here they're supporting him in covering up the wall and keeping the Titans out. But then later when Eren tears down the walls and is going to attack everyone else, everybody's like, stop him! Like, it's just, the contrast is insane, right? And then Ian. Oh, I forgot about Watabe. I forgot about him dying. And then you're going to have your blade up your ass. Oh my gosh. And then stay on the ground, suicide. Without horses or buildings, they can't fight. And like, this is the only way left. Oh, to make them target them instead of Eren. Oh, that is just the sight of Eren. It feels like I'm going to be crushed. Oh, Eren just like looking down in Titan form. And here's the thing. He doesn't care about the other Survey Corps members that are getting eaten by the Titans. But Armin and Mikasa, his best friends, he's like, if you stay there, the Titans are going to eat you. Like, he looks down, he's like, what are you doing? Oh. And then, oh my gosh, why did you want to go to the outside world, Eren? When we're born, all of us are free. People who reject that, no matter how strong they are, don't matter. Oh my God, that reject that freedom. Oh my God. Oh, that try to suppress someone who's been born free doesn't matter. Ooh, God, you know, the water, the burning water, the land of ice, anything will do. Anyone who saw those things would be the freest person in the world. Who'd value their own life over something like that? It doesn't matter how terrifying the world is. Oh, it doesn't matter how cruel the world is. Oh my God, I'm watching them as oh, and there's Ian getting eaten. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh, that's so awful. You have to fight. Yeah, no matter how cruel and terrifying it is. You have to fight for that freedom that you deserve. Oh my gosh. Ah! And it's so weird because back then, at this point in the story, it's so simple. It's like, yeah, it's just we're all born free. And maybe it's been that way the entire story. It's like we've all were born with freedom inherent. And then once we're born, there's all these walls placed around us. And we have to constantly keep fighting to not only survive, but to fight to preserve that right for freedom, right? But then it's so simple here, like you just have to fight to keep going. But then as the story gets more and more complex, there's all these extra layers to it, right? And Eren's still in this very primal, basic capacity. Whereas I think like Armin and Mikasa kind of start to see like, no, there's layers to this. It's not just something it can be as simple as fight for your freedom, but there's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than that, right? Oh, I love that page is just, there's no words. It's just Mikasa taking that one down. And then Eren goes to do the boulder. Armin shouting, "Go, Eren." Oh my God. I see the ship. I see the Armin and Eren ship. I do. I'm seeing it more in the manga now than I am from the anime for some reason. Yeah. Which, God, it's so frustrating to see Armin rooting on Eren like this. It's so frustrating to me because you see him rooting on Eren and cheering him on to like plug the hole with the boulder. And it's such a great moment. And then later on, Eren is going to like completely try to tear Armin down to keep him away from him. And Armin's going to be like able to see right through him. It's just, it's so frustrating to think about. But yeah. And then Rico, everyone didn't die in vain. So we think, you know, so we think, right? And today the human race won its first victory. All right. The yellow flare confirmed the operation was a success, and that's when Pixis tells him to send reinforcements. I forgot they had to, like, cut Eren out. He has an unbelievable fever. Part of him's fused with the Titan. I can't pull him out. We'll have to cut him out. And she's like, wait. Oh, and then, okay, so Rico cut him out. And he slid down, and then there were the Titans. And Eren's still, like, passed out. And Mikasa was going to save him. Oh my god, that shot of Armin with Eren in his arms, and it's kind of going to mirror later when Eren has Armin in his arms. I see the ship now! I see it! It's going to make it really complicated when we get to season 4 material, but I see it! I see you, ship. I see you. And then that's when Levi comes in. Oh man. Yep. The wings of freedom. Uh-huh. Yep. Oh, what a badass shot! Look at him! Look at him! Oh my god! Yes! Oh, that's beautiful. That's so badass. I love it. I absolutely love it. Levi's like, you whippersnappers. Oh, that's so good. So good. He's like, hey, brats, what's the situation here? Oh my god. Yes. All right. And then Eren, like, the skeleton of Eren, like, just fizzling away. For the first time in the human race had stopped the Titan invasion. Far too many lives were lost to revel in the victory. Yep. Oh my god. Oh. Just, oof. Okay. So, chapter 15, one by one. Oh, are we going back in time? Ooh. The land should have been cultivated long before winter set in. Most of our laborers were rounded up for last year's recovery mission. Oh. Ooh, okay. Oh, we're going back. We're going way back to we're going way back to before they even joined the Survey Corps. Oh. I realize that, but you need to do something about it. It's your duty to meet production projections. My apologies. At this rate, we'll all starve to death. The military police brigade's never even seen a Titan. But look at how they puff out their chests. What more can they ask the elderly and children to do? You kids, you do your military training this year, don't you? Make sure you never become a soldier like that. That doesn't care about people. Oh. I love that Eren, isn't paying attention. He's looking at Armin. And Armin's mad. Armin, what's wrong? Recovery mission. The liars. My parents were murdered so there would be fewer mouths to feed. Oh, Armin being self-aware of all this and vocalizing it? Ooh. Ooh, and now look. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So I remember back in volume 1, I was like, we cut straight to Trost without the events of what happened leading up to Trost. And somebody was like, oh, you'll find out in the manga. And I was like, please don't spoil me because I want to figure it out when I get to it. And so then everybody was really nice and quiet. And now we're backtracking, which makes sense. We just covered up the hole. Levi saved them. So now we're going to backtrack and go back to all that. Okay, good. I was afraid we weren't going to touch on it. And I was like, really? We're not going to talk about it at all? It was just anime only? But no. Okay, good. And we have Oshadis. Ah, oh my god. Maggot, sir. So yeah, Armin. I feel like Armin was never going to go into the military police based on that last panel. I feel like that cements the fact that Armin was not going to go into the military police because he saw the type of ways that they treated people. That makes sense. Yep. Okay. What's her name? Maggot! Magic! Armin Arlert of Shiganshina District. What a dumb name! Ah, your parents gave it to you. My grandfather did, sir. Arlert. Which is like alert almost, right? What the hell did you come here for? To make myself useful in the struggle for humanity's victory. That's gonna make you Titan, shall Maggot. Like, Armin's so tiny compared to him. Okay. And then he goes on to the next person. A rite of passage. You've got to throw everything that person was and start over the clean slate if you're gonna make them a soldier. He's leaving some of them alone. Yeah, he leaves Annie alone because she has the look of a warrior. Yeah, which is, again, foreshadowing, right? They're the ones who saw hell firsthand 2 years ago. Mikasa and then Reiner, Bertolt, Ymir, and Eren. They're the ones looked over. Which is funny that he gets Armin. But Armin didn't see Mikasa and Eren saw their mom get killed. So that makes sense. But Armin getting picked on. But then you have the other Titan warriors. You have Ymir, you have Reiner, and Bertolt and Annie left over. So that all makes sense. Classy. Love Eddie Siama. Jean Kirstein is the next introduced. Of course, our King Jean. And Jean's mission has always been to get into the military police and live in the interior. He wants the exact opposite of Armin, which is so great. I love that too, because Armin and Jean work so well together, but it's like they kind of complete each other. And if you ship Jean and Armin, I'm sure you're like, yes, they do. But they really do. I always loved Armin and Jean's interactions because they are very different in personality, but strategy-wise, they're both smart and they get along really well. And so I love that they complement each other. But Aaron, that moment Aaron looks over to Jean like, you just want to live comfortably? Like Aaron slowly tilts his head. Great. What do you want to do? You want to go to the interior. And then, he headbutts Jean. And then Marco bought Genet Town from Rose South District. I want to join the military police and devote myself to the king. And then, just giving Marco a hard time. And then Connie, he just lifts Connie up by the head. Just lifts him up. Oh my God. And then there's Sasha eating the potato. I love it. Oh my God. And it's slowly zooming in on Keith's face. Oh my God. And it just drops Connie. That's great. That's great. I'm talking to you, scum. What's your name? Sasha Blouse. A steamed potato, sir. Oh, Sasha, sweetheart. They lose their taste when they get cold, so I want to eat it right now. Why'd you eat the potato? Are you asking me in general why people eat potatoes? God, I miss her so much. Everybody's just like, Sasha. I even love that, like, Aaron and Armin are like, the hell? And I love that even Reiner and Bertolt are like, the fudge, the balls on this girl. And Mika says just like, yeah. And then she like gives him half. I love it. Like, that potato girl still running for 5 hours straight. Oh. Yep. But it doesn't compare to the look of anguish when he said she doesn't get to eat today. Dopper, a hunting village with a small population deep in the mountains. And then, yeah. And then they know Aaron was the one that saw the Colossus Titan. And everybody's like, how big was it? Yeah, everybody's over there asking. But Reiner and Bertolt and Annie aren't one of the ones asking either, are they? And then Aaron can't finish his food. Yeah, he about throws up. I like that it's Marco that's like, hey, knock it off. Like, don't make him remember these things. And then Aaron, who is our resident edgelord, is like, that's not it. And he just like starts eating the bread again like it doesn't affect him. The Titans are no big deal. If we can master the vertical maneuvering gear, they'll be no match for us. I like that Aaron he gets sick and scared for a moment and then he just like powers through, right? Aaron would be a monster on like a daydream. like the next day, Aaron doesn't get hungover. He just day 2 powers through and that's it, right? And so Aaron being like, I was just choked up about it before. I'm going to join the Survey Corps and rid the world of Titans. And then Jean's the one that asks him why. And Aaron's like, oh, you're the guy that wants to take it easy in the military police. Yeah. I like that Jean in this chapter in the manga is not taller than Aaron, barely. He's barely taller than Aaron. He's like about the same height, right? And in the anime, they instantly make Jean like as tall as he is during Trost. But here, this is supposed to take place when they first join when they're like 13 or 14, right? So Jean's still pretty short. And then when they grow up, when we come back to the present time, he's a lot taller. So I like that Isayama kind of took that into account to make them around the same size. And then they grow up, right? And so he's like, it's a bad habit of mine. And then he says, I like that they don't really get into a fight in this part of the chapter. He's just like, oh, he's like, you're just pretending to be brave. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's a bad habit of mine. I didn't mean to get you riled up. And then he's like, I had a chip. And then they kind of apologize, right? He says, I don't want to throw cold water on your plans. How you choose to live is your own business. He's like, oh, all right. I had a chip on my own shoulder too. And then they go, let's call a truce. Sure. And they like clap their hands. Like, what? Was that in the anime? I feel like it wasn't. And then that's when he spots Mikasa. And he says, hey, you. Oh, and he notices that she looks different because she's Asian. You have really beautiful black hair. And she says, thanks. And then he goes out and sees him. He says, isn't that hair too long? You could get it in your gear on accident. And she's like, I'll cut it. And then Jean getting, yeah, getting like, hitting Connie. And he's like, what are you wiping off anyway? And he says, my faith in humanity. Man, that look on Jean's face. So yeah, Jean just wiping off. So yeah, so he was like, he shook. That's why he wiped it off. Okay. In the anime, they don't really have that truce. So when he wipes off that stuff on Connie, I'm like, what the hell was he doing? And everybody was really nice. They didn't spoil me. They're just like, I don't know. But here in the manga, the reason he wiped it off was he shook hands with Eren like, hey man, no hard feelings, right? And then the one girl he likes, she's infatuated with Eren, and Jean's like just wiping off the truce from Eren, being like, my faith in humanity, like that dirty dog, he likes the girl that I like. Like it reads sort of like that. So that's interesting. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. And then poor Sasha, she's like, I just wanted to eat something. And then here comes, I love that she leaps at Historia like a titan to get the bread, which is a nice foreshadowing that they're all potentially titans inside, right? Nice. I like it. And then she gets the bread. And Historia's like, oh, I thought you better drink some water first. And she's like, Kami? She's like, God looking at Historia, right? Are you God? Which to Ymir, she is, right? Which is the funny thing. And she's like, this girl's been running all day. Oh, it's the potato girl. And then Ymir says, I've been irritated since I saw you palm the dinner bread. You're feeding a pet behind the barracks. You're trying to do a good deed. But what did you do it for the potato girl? Did the sense of accomplishment or high-minded compensate for the trouble you went to? She's like, I wanted to be helpful. She's like, right? And she's like, oh, like I know. I like that Ymir is kind of like, even though she's clearly all about Historia, like right from the start. And she says, why are you doing a good deed? So I can rely on her stupidity and demand gratitude later. Which is kind of ironic because when we find out about Ymir's past, it's that idea that Ymir knows what it feels like to be in that state of ignorance and to be used by those that seem like they're doing nice, but are really just using you. So it's almost like she's kind of calling out how she's been treated and kind of foreshadowing that as well. Nice. So then, yeah, you have the aptitude check. Attach rope and dangle. Yep. Those of you who can't do this aren't fit to be used as bait. And then, of course, yeah, Mikasa is like a natural. And then what about him? If there's something you can do better than anybody else, there's somebody that you're worse at. Oh, poor Eren. And it was that the belt was messed up, right? It wasn't supposed to be like this. Yeah. Eren, like that setback, right? Oh, man. Okay. And so, yeah, Armin and Mikasa try to help him. They try to crank it up. Lift me up, Armin. And we find out it was Keith that messed up the belt, right? Was it Keith? Who messed up the belt, right? Was it Keith that messed it up from the start? I can't remember. I'm just like, Okay, chapter 16 is necessity. Oh, God, and Eren just falling down. I like that image of Armin. Armin's like in near tears, and Mikasa and them helping him back. Again, we have season 4, part 3 coming up, and Armin and Mikasa are going out to try and talk to Eren and possibly talk him down off the rumbling. And if we get like a parallel of this, ooh, you know, it's like, didn't that night, didn't he say he was going to wipe out the Titans? And Aaron's just like in shock that he's like, can't figure it out, right? All you have to do is get down tomorrow. Eat so your body will make more blood to replace what you lost today. That's great. What should I do? How am I going to eradicate them like this? And Mikasa says you shouldn't set your sights on that anyway. Okay. You shouldn't aim to be a soldier. Laying down your life isn't the only way to fight. Oh, I like that Mikasa, okay, so we start this argument where she says laying down your life, killing yourself isn't, being a martyr isn't the only way to fight in a situation. I love that. Yeah, because that's kind of what I'm talking about. As we go through the story and things get more and more complicated, there's this idea that you don't have to just fight by violence. There are other means of communicating, getting your point across, standing up for your freedoms. There's more than one way to do it. A primal act of violence isn't the only way. And I like that Mikasa's kind of like hinting at it here, but Aaron's like, well, do you really think that argument's going to change my mind? Yeah. That's Aaron in a nutshell. That is Aaron in a nutshell. Do you think that argument's going to change my mind? Oh my God. No. Yep. That's pretty spot on, actually. Wow. And then Mikasa and Aaron looking at each other like that, like, she's like, but your resolve has nothing to do with it. It's not your decision whether you get to be a soldier. And he's like, you jerk, I already know that. Like, I like that Mikasa kind of calls his bluff and like calls him out there. Okay. What I'm saying may seem ridiculous to you. You master everything on the first try. Oh, there's a little bit of jealousy there. Interesting. Okay. And then she says that she'd go back with Aaron. Okay. Oh, so Mikasa, like Aaron, you see that him telling Armin, let's go. And so we didn't get that in the anime. She just looks over and there's Sasha there, right? So did Aaron not hear her say that she'd go back with him? Ooh, okay. All right, and then Sasha shows up to get the bread, right? Okay. And so then, of course, Sasha and Ymir and Historia together, which is really sad because now Historia's alone. I hate that. Okay. So Aaron goes to ask Connie and Jean for help. And Aaron's like, please, seriously, guy, I'm asking you for your help. I love that it's Jean and Connie, who, again, season 4, are going to be the ones that go after Aaron. Everything just leading up, it's great. Oh, and go up and ask Bertolt and Reiner. Yeah, just go up and ask Bertolt and Reiner. They're just sitting up there having a good time. You know, no big deal. I love that neither Bertolt and Reiner really want to talk about it. Yeah. They'll just have to bet on tomorrow. Okay. And I like that they both are like, you're from Shiganshina, aren't you? You know how scary the Titans is, so I don't get why you want to be soldiers. This is so fascinating, like Bertolt and Reiner being like, what's the deal? Why do you want to be soldiers? Like, you know what we've done to you all. Why would you want to keep doing it? And, okay, Armin says, whenever I think about the monarchy ramming through that suicidal wall recapture operation, I can't sit still. I have no confidence in my own physical strength. I don't even know if there's anything I do, but I can't keep quiet and watch what's happening. So Armin's more like the political angle of it. He's like, I can't just sit here and let people keep getting taken advantage of by the system. Armin's thinking more like the political angle of it, which is kind of fun. It's interesting. And then I like that Aaron says, I'm pretty much the same way. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, where are you guys from? And Bertolt hesitates. Okay. Bertolt and Reiner are kind of like, we can't really, what do we say to these locals, right? All right. And so that's when Bertolt tells the story about the man that was eaten by the Titan. Yeah. We probably went through the same thing. And then, yeah, I like that Bertolt told this story, and then Reiner kind of gets him to backtrack. He's like, you guys are different from them. The ones here don't know the terror of the Titans. They just come here because they think it's the thing to do. Because if you're a producer going on 12, even if you're a weak-kneed coward, you'll be swept up in the military craze after the fall of Volmaria and become a trainee soldier. Still, forget about the Survey Corps. Everybody wants to be in the military police brigade, but if they can't, they'll opt for the garrison and try to get transferred into the brigade. I'm just as cowardly as they are. Uh-huh. And Bertolt says, I'm athletic, so I chose to be a soldier thinking I'd use my skill to become an elite MP. And if that doesn't work, I just might chuck it all. I've got no will of my own. That's so interesting, because it's like, did Bertolt just join the Warriors in the beginning because of is he actually admitting why he joined the Warriors, and he's just transferring and projecting that onto his story for them? He says, I envy you for having something that's more important to you than your own life. Yeah, oh, I love that with Bertolt. And Aaron's saying, protecting your own life is admirable too. Yeah. And Reiner's like, you didn't change your mind after even seeing the Titans? Right now, I don't know if I actually can become a soldier. I'm terrified of them, but what's stronger than that is my need to kill every last one of them. And Reiner's just like, him and Bertolt! And Reiner says, I have something that I absolutely have to do. And I like that Bertolt slowly looks over like, don't mess this up. He says, I have to go back home, even though there's nothing left to go home to. That purpose is all that's left inside of me. Yeah, I will go back no matter what. And going back home, I remember thinking that home, I was like, where is Reiner's home? What's that like? And then we found out. And it's like, oh my God. Ah! So, and they're like, we just need to readjust the belts and try again. I know you've got it in you. Aaron Yeager, isn't it? Yeah, thanks, Reiner Braun, right? Oh my God! Ah! Them two. Oh my God, meeting. So, interesting. So we don't get them like wandering out in the woods, right? We don't get that point. I feel like that was just anime filler, just to pad time. It seems like such a symbolic moment, but at the same time, it doesn't really have a purpose, so... And then, are you ready, Aaron? Yeah. You're going back to the settlement. Yep. I may not be a natural, but no one beats me when it comes to willpower. And so, yeah, he was doing it. Yeah, and the belt was broken, right? But he was still doing it regardless. Oh, yeah, because he says that I can't back it up. It has nothing to do with logic. No one beats me when it comes to willpower. My weapon is willpower. Yeah, no. Aaron is not going to be convinced that he is wrong, no matter what. That willpower, you're not going to be Aaron when it comes to that. Oh my God. Ah! And then everybody, and I like that Reiner and Bertolt are actually like, oh, he's doing it. And then he flips. Oh. I feel like at this point in the manga, this is the saddest, like the most distraught we've seen Aaron, is him not getting to do what he wants to do, right? And then he says, trade belts with Yeager. He says there's defective equipment. The metal fitting the belt you were using was broken. Oh. He says, no problem, keep practicing. Yep. Oh, and Aaron looking like so relieved in that moment. Oh my God. He's like, I did it. How about that, Mikasa? I can fight the Titans. You'll never have to take care of me ever again. Like him saying that he would have to like not be taking care of Mikasa. And she's like, he's relieved because now we won't have to be separated from me. Yeah, it's so funny because what Aaron says in his mind and what Mikasa says in her mind are two opposite things, right? They're both thinking different. Like, Aaron doesn't want to have to depend on Mikasa. He wants to be able to protect her. And she thinks that he's like, okay, we don't have to be separated anymore. And it's like, well, they're on a similar path, but they're not quite the same. Yeah. Wow. He says, for a few moments, he maintained his balance with this broken equipment. Could anyone else have done that? Grisha, today your son became a soldier. And that's the hint that he knows Grisha. Oh my God. Ah! But I'm trying to remember, was Keith the one that broke the equipment? Was he the one that broke the equipment from the start? I can't remember. I'll have to go back. We'll have to find that out later on. I think we do find it out. Okay. And then we have the public information. I like that little image of Aaron scaling the mountain. I like that. That little piece of Aaron scaling the mountain there above. That's interesting. Okay. And now, episode 17, Delusions of Strength. Oh my God. So Aaron versus Reiner, right? Right? Oh my God. And Aaron takes Reiner down. Damn, that shot. That shot! God, it's great. 2 years after beginning training. Okay. Yep. This time. And he says, come on, this time you be the bad guy. So, yeah, I love that we had Aaron being the good guy, Reiner being the bad guy, and then it flips. Oh my God. What poetry, Isayama. What poetry. I thought I was too big for you to flip on the ground. I've got bad control. Yes, you do have bad control, Aaron. When I was in the city, I played with this huge kid. I still don't get this training. It's not like soldiers fight people. Well, in the first place, only a fool would go after an attacker barehanded. He said, what would you do in a situation? Well, I'd run away, of course. Of all the irresponsible, we don't learn anything using a wooden knife. And these combat skills, even if they worked in real life, it'd be sheer luck. The truth is, it usually doesn't end well. Oh, and Reiner doesn't know that Aaron has killed somebody in the past. And then again, he's echoing Grisha's words. It was sheer luck. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's not child's play. We're soldiers. There are going to be times we can't run away no matter how bad the odds are. When people we're supposed to protect are threatened, we have to enter the fray and shield them. Yeah, God, I love this conversation between Reiner and Aaron. This is great. I'd forgotten about this. That is the two of them talking, right? It doesn't matter who or what the enemy is. We have to master skills to get stronger with artillery as well as hand to hand. That's our responsibility as strong soldiers. And then Aaron says, the kid here is me. I'm a kid who only knows how to spout his own feelings, even back then. Oh, wow. Okay. And then Reiner says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lecture you like some know-it-all. He's like, back to training, the responsibility that comes with power. I never even thought about it. I like that Aaron's like, responsibility? With great power comes great responsibility? What? Oh my God, Aaron. But I love that Reiner and Aaron having this conversation and sharing it. And Aaron believing like, he's like, I'm the kid out there who only knows how to spout his own emotions. It's like, well, he learned from season 4. By season 4, he learned not to just do that. And then Reiner calls Annie out. Oh, Reiner, I'm going to teach Annie how to deal with the dagger too. That slouch is the one who needs a lecture on how a soldier should behave, and I'll be the one to give it to her. I'm like, little did we, the audience, know that Annie's already kicked Reiner's ass like at least one time before this, right? Oh my God. And then she's furious. He's like, let's go, Aaron! And then she does the fighting stance. Yes. Yep. We're practicing the formal way to deal with an edged weapon. Do you remember how it's done? Oh, man. And girl knocking him down. I love that even this foreshadows Aaron versus Annie in Titan form later on. It's great. She's like, can I go now? And you have to take the dagger away. I love that Aaron's like, wait, Annie, don't do this. Don't attack me. And then, yeah, she just flips him over and takes the knife and gives it back to him. And says, here. Now it's your turn to attack me. I love that Aaron is like all folded over and he's like, get her, Reiner. If you're going to teach her the responsibility of being a soldier, right? Oh my God. Oh, yeah. And then I love that Reiner's like, yes, I can't back down. And he instantly gets like flipped over. That's great. Okay. Did someone teach you? She says, my father. Uh-huh. It doesn't matter. None of it has any meaning. She's like, look how passionate applicants for the interior duty, including me, treat it. She's like, one-on-one combat doesn't matter. Count for any points. The others take it really seriously like you guys, or they act like idiots. I love that Sasha's like doing this with her. Yeah. Vertical maneuvering skills are worth a lot of points, so that's all I care about. I'm not aiming to be a great soldier. I just want the right to live in the interior. Oh, which is kind of interesting that Annie, coming from Marley, Annie's like, I don't care about being great. I just want my rights. I just want my freedoms too. So her and Aaron are, very similar too in that regard. Great. Why is it that in this world, the people with the best ability to oppose the Titans get the privilege of staying far away from them? How do you think it got to be such a farce? I love that Annie is like making him question these things. Like, don't you get it? Don't you see how the system is rigged? Don't be a sheeple. Use your brain. And then, Aaron against her. Perhaps it's human nature. Yeah, I love that she's saying, like, it's human nature to try to wall yourself away and make yourself safe rather than face the unknown in this dangerous situation. I love that. My father was like you too, carried away with ideals that have nothing to do with reality. Even as a kid, I knew it was crap. My dad made me learn these pointless moves, and I was too young to defy him. But I refuse to be one of those morons who enjoys playing soldier in this pathetic world. Oh, Annie. Knowing who Annie is in the series and looking back on her, man, I love her character much more. And then Reiner saying, you're just not meant to be a soldier. Ooh, oh man. I like, what characterization this early on. Okay. And then John's just sitting there running his mouth, right? And then Armin talking about everything. To keep techniques from dying out, they had to raise their value by promising people life in the interior. But they've kept that up even after we lost a wall, so now everyone's trying to get in. And then Aaron's thinking it really is a farce. Like, Annie's words get to him. He's like, this really is a crock of shit. Like, they're like the people that should be protecting the people and trying to like break through the walls and get to the Titans and destroy them. They're on the inside doing nothing. Yeah, Annie really got through to him, right? Yep. And he's like, Jean, and this is, don't you think it's crazy? This plan to improve the Titan killing techniques by promising a life far away from the Titans. He's like, we have a point, but that's reality. So all I can go do is go with the flow. They keep this stupid plan around for people like me. And then Aaron and Jean, you son of a bitch! Oh my god. You're jealous because you don't have any talent? Oh my god. There they go again. All right. Oh, and he says, I had it with you. Oh, so Aaron says, tell me how to beat the Titans when everyone with any potential shuts themselves up in the interior. And John's like, well, don't complain to me. And that's when he sees Mikasa. And he's like, I've had it with you. Oh my god. And what I like about this is that Jean gets mad and attacks Aaron, not because of what Aaron was saying, but because of the fact that he gets jealous that Mikasa is looking to Aaron. And Aaron's face is like, why are you doing this, right? It's like, you asshole. You grab me like my clothes are going to rip. Oh my god. And then Aaron's like, if you don't back off. But then he looks behind Jean and he sees Reiner and Annie staring at him. He was just venting his feelings like I did before. But I'm different now. I'm a soldier. Oh my gosh, I'm an effing soldier. Just grabs him and uses Annie's technique to knock him down. I'll use my skills to finish this fight. Oh. I love that Aaron like chides him for not learning that move because he was slacking off. It's like, how can you call yourself a soldier? You say reality is living an easy life and giving in to your feelings. Oof. Oof. And then again, we have like, Annie and Reiner both just staring. And Mina's there too. And then I just love that the door creaks open and there's Shadis. He's like, did I just hear a noise? He's so scary there. And then Mikasa says Sasha let out a huge fart. And then learn some self-control. And Sasha's like, why me? And I like that just diffuses the entire situation. Everything's fine at that point. And I love Sasha's grabbing Mikasa, like shaking her arm. And then Eren says, that was close, Sean. You almost lost your chance to become MP over a stupid fight. The trouble is it's not over between us. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Night Before the End. Like the fact that everything, like they have a fight, they settle it real quick, and then things diffuse. And then Jean's like, it's not over, but I'm letting this slide. That reminds me, like, again, because we consider Reiner and Eren to be one and the same, it's Eren in this time that Jean's just like, this isn't over yet. And then later on at Night of the End, it's Reiner that Jean gets mad at, and he's like, it's not over yet. So, interesting. It's like, I can't afford to take care of this here because it's in front of Mikasa. And then Eren's like, well, let's just have this scuffle out in the open. Okay. So then it's Jean versus Eren, right? Or Eren's not there yet, right? Does it look like Jean's slacking off? No. But it's not like he's working hard either. He's doing it so he can pay you back. And Eren's like, I'm sure he is. But he is serious about learning the moves. Yeah, Jean does want to learn because he wants to do it against Eren. I like this moment between Eren and Annie. This is great. This is great. Oh, and then we have Annie with her dad. Okay. Interesting. And then Eren, what'd you think of my kick? It sucked. Not even close. If you like it that much, I wouldn't mind teaching it to you. Oh, no thanks. It really hurts. Oh, please, I insist. Again, this Annie Eren moment. I shipped Annie and Eren for a hot second. For a hot second, I did. I kind of love Annie with Eren in this. They both have kind of like, they're both so calm kind of in this. Interesting. And then, but we don't see Mikasa versus Annie. Is that going to be a thing? Was that not a thing? Was the Mikasa versus Annie thing not real? What? I want to go back to that. What's wrong, Arlert? You're the only one behind. And then Reiner takes it from Armin. Again, all these characters interacting, and then they're going to interact later on. Reiner Braun, strong as an ox with a will to match. He's earned the trust of his comrades. Oh my god. Ooh, Armin Arlert, when it comes to physical strength, he doesn't measure up to soldier standards. But in the classroom lectures, he's shown extraordinary imagination. He's acquired a sense of direction, or perhaps... And then the others, yep. Annie Leonhardt, the angle of her approach of her slashing attack is impeccable, and she carves deeply into the target. Personality-wise, she tends to be a loner and has trouble cooperating. Bertolt Hoover, he's mastered every single skill that's taught and has a lot of potential, but he lacks drive and tends to leave decisions to others. Yeah, he wants nothing to do with deciding. Okay. Jean Kirstein has a deep understanding of the vertical maneuvering equipment and excels at exploiting that skill. He can take in a situation at a moment's glance, but his personality is like a drawn sword, which can create conflict. Yep. Connie Springer, he finds his balance and is effective at vertical maneuvering, but he's got a slow mind and makes strategic mistakes. And then Sasha Blouse moves quickly and has remarkable instincts, but she has issues with structure, making her ill-suited for organized activity. Oh, Sasha. Oh my god. And then there's Mikasa. She's mastered every single difficult subject perfectly. Her talents are historically unprecedented, making her the most valuable of them all. And then Eren Yeager, though proficient at bare-handed fighting, he doesn't seem to have any other skills. But he possesses a sense of purpose, twice as strong as anyone else's. Through constant effort, his grades have steadily improved. Yeah, our normal guy, right? Okay. Oh, we have Connie and Jean and Sasha together right here. Oh, that's sweet. We get the three of them together, like this chaos trio. Oh. And then Marco's there too. At least nobody got hurt during the test. Marco! No! Oh. He says, even when you found the target first, it looked to me like you let other people score the points. You want to get into the military police brigade, right? Don't you want the points? I think competition is necessary in the group to raise our skill levels, but I can't help thinking about actual fighting. I'm the slowest one there, so I thought I should attract the Titan's attention and let the others take it down from behind. Even though that's pointless in a test that measures our ability to kill, and even though I wanted to join the military police brigade ever since I was a kid. In other words, you're a natural leader. Oh, Marco. I think it suits you. That kind of efficient thinking and quick-wittedness. I'd want to be in a squad where you were leading. I want to be Marco's squad too. I have a feeling we'd survive that way. Oh my God, no! Isayama, that's so cruel. You give us that. You give us that. You give us that, and then you take him away from us. No. John, I'd jump on the Marco bandwagon. Oh my gosh. I think I'd want to avoid being in a squad with a suicidal blockhead. I'd be dead within 10 seconds. Aaron's like, hold on, I was being nice. Oh my God. Oh, just come right out and confess your love already, Jean. Oh my God! Shut up, potato girl. I guess if you ship Jean and Aaron. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And then Jean says, I'm worn out. Jean, I think you make a better leader than me. Don't get mad when you hear this, but Jean... No! Oh my God. Oh my God. We cut right to that. Oh, Isayama. Oh. Oh, that's so cruel. Oh my God, like the one with like the mouth, like just... Marco. And it's like literally half his body missing. Trainee, do you know his name? I wasn't gonna look. I can't believe that happened to him. Marco, what happened? Somebody, anybody. See what happened here. What's his name? If you know it, answer me right now. Trainee, do you understand? 2 days have passed since the wall was plugged with the rock. We're still collecting bodies. At this rate, there's a risk of contagious disease. We have to prevent a secondary disaster. Right now, there's no time to mourn your fallen comrades. Do you got it? 10th Training Corps, leader of the 19th Squad, Marco Bot. Marco, it's good you know his name. Let's continue working. Oh, that hurt. That hurt just as worse as the anime. That hurt just as bad. Oh my God. And then Sasha saying, "What is this?" Like the big mess. Titan puke. They don't have intestinal tracts, so once they've had to fill, they upchuck the bodies like this. We'll never be able to tell who's who like this. So then we do get to see Annie and them, and Annie looking down at the body, and it's a Survey Corps member whose like upper half of their head has been completely eaten off. And so it's Annie saying, "I'm sorry." And Reiner says there's no point in apologizing. Let's hurry up and get the funeral over with. After all the training we did. And there's him and Reiner and Bertolt standing there. Endurance runs, horseback riding, unarmed combat, lectures on strategy, technical skills, vertical maneuvering. We worked so hard. We did so much. Was it all for nothing? Wow, so we cut right to the funeral pyre. Oh my gosh, that's actually... Wow, the way they structured this. Oh. We all regret it. If we'd known we were going to be dropped into hell like this, we wouldn't have chosen to become soldiers. Right now, when we're exhausted and we can't go on, that's the only thing in our heads. And then, yeah, Marco, I don't even know which bones are yours. If I hadn't become a soldier, if I hadn't met you guys, I wouldn't have had to worry about who's next. And then he thinks of Aaron saying, if you want to be Titan food so bad, you're going to give up working on ways to fight them. I don't need you to tell me that, asshole. I know I need to fight. I'm not going to turn into an idiot like you. Not everybody is strong like you. And then we cut back to Marco saying, don't get mad when you hear this, but Jean, you're not a strong person. So you can really understand how weak people feel. What the hell? But you're also good at recognizing what's going on at any given moment. You know exactly what needs to be done. I mean, most humans are weak, including me. But if I got an order from someone who saw things like I do, no matter how tough it was, I'd do my damnedest to carry it out. What should I do now? The bones! The bones! Oh my God. And then he says, you guys, have you decided which branch of the military you're going to apply to? I've decided. And he holds the bones. I'm going to join the Survey Corps. Oh, Jean. Oh my God. Oh man. Oh, we cut back to this. It took a full day to mop up the remaining Titans who'd been sealed up inside of Trost. Most of the Titans around the world were killed with high explosive projectiles, and the last 2 Titans were successfully captured alive. Oh yes, Sonny and Bean. Oh my God, all the nails. And then there's Erwin and Levi. And that's about all that's happened in the 3 days you were in a coma. Do you have any questions, Aaron? Oh my God, so Aaron was in a coma. Great. The top leader of the Survey Corps, Commander Erwin and Captain Levi. Where am I? Oh, let's just say you're in a dungeon. You can see, as you can see. Oh, we're talking to the trainees. Not only those 2, but anyone who knows anything about your past. What we're going to do from here on out isn't much different from what we've been doing. The basement, the house where you were born, Dr. Yeager's house in Shiganshina district, holds the secret of the Titans. Am I right? That's what my father said. You have amnesia, and your father is missing. That's a very convenient story. Levi, we've already reached the conclusion. He has no reason to lie. I love it. I love it. Yes. There's so much we still don't understand, but what I think we should do right now is ask about your intentions. To investigate your old home, we'd have to take back Shiganshina district. It would take drastic measures to plug the hole in that wall quickly. We need your Titan strength. Our fate rides on a Titan, it seems. Perhaps the Colossus Titan and the Armored Titans are the same types as you. Yes, 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 yes. Your answer will be the key to freeing the human race from this despair. I love that Levi says, answer the man, scum. What is it you want to do? Oh, that look of Aaron. Oh my God. Aaron hasn't seen Levi in forever. Like, it's been a while, right? I mean, it's not been since Sasha's death. I just want to enter the Survey Corps and kill Titans. Not bad. Oh, it's not like I trust him. And if he betrays me or goes out of control, I'll put him down immediately. Oh, nobody's better suited, but me is better suited for the job. Which now Levi can't do anything. So I'm like, damn it, no. Now Levi's like, he's handicapped. I'll accept you into the Survey Corps. Oh my God. Oh my God. That face. That, I wasn't ready. Wasn't ready. Okay. Damn. And this was published in 2011. Damn, that was like 13 years ago. Oh my God. Oh, I was not ready for Marco's death to come out of nowhere. I was not ready for Marco's death to just come out of nowhere and be there. So I guess we need to talk about this. So the whole thing of Annie versus Mikasa was anime only. Okay. Which is fine. It's fair. I get that. I feel like Eren had this really cool shippy moment with Annie, like in that scene, and I feel like maybe the anime included Mikasa fighting her like as a joke because Mikasa likes Eren, and that's the joke at the time. But looking back, I'm kind of torn, right? I'm kind of torn because there's two ways you could have done this. You could have kept it like the manga did here and had them all like developing this relationship and everything the way that it happens in the manga. You don't really know Jean and the others until you get to this volume, and it's volume 4, so you've known these characters for a little while. And then, or you could do it like the anime did and you start out with these scenes and then have Trost Battle. I'm kind of torn, honestly, because I think overall I like the way that the anime did it. I like the anime moving all this to the front before Trost because it gives Connie, like characters like Connie and Sasha, it gives all of those characters more depth going into Trost, so you kind of care about their characters more during the battle. I think that it didn't affect me as much because I've already seen the anime, so I already know that they had that relationship. But I feel like Whit made a good decision in putting all of this material right at the forefront before Trost, because then you kind of got to know the characters a little more, so you felt a little more at stake with them. However, that being said, the transition of Marco telling Jean why he should be a leader to him being dead, and that double spread is probably one of the best double spreads Isayama's done so far. Like the double spread of Jean finding Marco. That is the most insanely well done double spread in this manga so far at all. I'm like, oh my god. And just the fact that Marco is like holding his heart, like has his arm almost like this in that moment. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's just, it's outrageous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I just, that transition was just jaw-dropping. I did not see it coming. So I feel like that moment in the manga is so perfectly executed, but I do like the way the anime handles it for the most part, and then transitions after everything goes down with then we find Marco's body, then we go through the aftermath of it, right? And the Titan puke and everything. And we have Annie saying, I'm sorry, and God, that's going to come back. All of this setting up for when Night of the End happens, that's going to all come back. Oh my God. I'm already ready to be at volume like 27, 28 right now. We still got so much time to go. But yeah. And so they built everything up. And then, but I like the way that I'm really torn, like I said, because I like the way the manga transitions from them finding the bodies and everything and to leading, like going back to the missions and stuff from the Survey Corps training, and then to the big pyre and the funeral, right? And what a great foreshadowing of Reiner being like, we just got to hurry and get the funeral over with before we can take care of Eren or do something like that, right? We just got to, before we set our plans into motion, we've got to take care of this funeral. And Annie is the one that's starting to break first, being like, she's realizing the carnage that's happening to all these people, right? And then Jean. I also love that Eren is inside of Jean's head and he's like, shut up, asshole, I know, you know. But I love that Eren's not there with them. It's like, it's not, because Eren's in a coma in jail. It's just literally Jean making the decision to go into the Survey Corps. And we cut back, we bounce back to that flashback of Margot telling him he'd be a good leader. You know what needs to be done. And that idea of you know what needs to be done, tying to Jean saying, what should I do now? And he's like, he's got the bones. The bones! At this point, I really like John's character. By the end of the Trost arc, I liked John's character a lot. And so this was definitely like a yes, absolutely. I love his character moment. It's so good. Oh my God. Just. What can we say, right? What can we say? Oh my God. I'm just kind of floored, right? Just kind of floored by it all. Yeah, this volume was really, really good. Oh, the Isayama's artwork, and then us going back to the dynamic between Aaron and Levi is still one of the most amazing things today. So I thought we were getting the courtroom in this volume, but no, I didn't realize we were going to backtrack and cut through all the Survey Corps stuff that we left out that's from like earlier on in the anime. So next volume is going to be the trial. Okay, right? Next volume is going to be the trial and going through all of that business, and Aaron and Levi being like, I'm the one that can take care of him, which is so crazy because I know Levi's with them at the end of season 4 part 2, but Levi's so injured that he really, it's kind of like foreshadowing and being like, the only one that can really handle you is me, and I'm the one out of commission, and so it's gonna have to be Mikasa, and it's like, oh my God. But God, Aaron's face when he's like, I just want to enter the Survey Corps and kill Titans. Should have been a red flag. Should have been a red flag at the time. But who could have known? Who could have known? So, man, that volume was really good. I didn't expect when we were getting done with the battle, I was like, I wonder what all is going to get covered in this. Did not anticipate going back and revisiting all of that prior training that happened before, and then that transition to Marco. Oh, my heart just like rip it out and throw it aside. Well, volume 5 is next, and that is going to be the courtroom and all that, and setting up and meeting the Levi squad. Looking forward to that already. But I'm real curious to know your thoughts down below. Those of you that were manga readers, I'm very curious to know if you're a manga reader and you start out with the manga before watching the anime, or if you've watched the anime and then read the manga afterwards. With this particular volume, I'm very curious to know what were your thoughts about how they organized this part of the story, like the fact that they reorganized and moved stuff to the front before Trost really got started, or the fact that how it was set up here, like which do you prefer? Because I'm kind of torn. It's sort of apples and oranges. I think that both versions work. They just work in different ways. And I feel like I can't, reliably say which one I like better because I'm sort of, I saw the anime first, so it's always going to be in my brain no matter what. So, But I am curious to know your thoughts down below. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction and discussion. But in the meantime, I also hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yes, I will be back next week to talk about Volume 5 of Attack on Titan's manga. Bye.